Thank you, Roberto, back in New York City. I'm your host, Joe Gadavich, Conservative Time. To my right, the beautiful Liberty Bell in Philadelphia and Independence Hall in Philadelphia. This is where independence started, in my opinion, the city of brotherly love. And you would think with such beautiful landscapes and architecture and smiling people and tourists that the world was perfect. But unfortunately, right now, there's been a great division in what we feel about the Constitution. I didn't see it today. To my surprise, I saw a lot of happy people traveling through, and quite honestly, most of them think like a Republican and like a Democrat. I didn't feel there was any politics involved at all. People had intelligent answers, and common things like that can be discussed, and common solutions can happen. When people are enjoying themselves and the media isn't pushing anything with bad news or critical race theories or killings or issues on the border, people tend to be with their families and they're smiling and happy. And that's the way the world should be. And I saw it here today, and I'm very proud to say that I grew up in Philadelphia, moved to New York City, but now that I'm back 20 years later, there's a lot of beauty here and a lot of great people.
Because they were privileged.
Well, again, I say I want to be very careful with picking a color and trying to stay in one area. The wording is critical, and the next word is race, and the next word is theory. I understand some things have to change because of past discretions and things that happen. And I'm going to repeat myself for the fourth time. Recognize them, acknowledge them, and make sure they don't happen again. But don't bring it up and make people feel ashamed nowadays for it when they're not responsible. That to me is common sense. Hopefully I could stop a few people and see how they feel about some of the things that are going on.
The economy in the situation of the day.
I would like to see. I'm going to ask him. You sure? I was going to ask you how your day was.
Good.
Okay. Again, a lot of people don't like to be in front of camera because they always think it's something controversial, and that's what the media does to you sometimes. Could be a nice question. It could be something that, how do you grow plants? How do you like your coffee? Doesn't always have to be a political thing, and I think that's the issue. Too much political issues are being brought up nowadays, and it's causing division, anger, suspicion, and quite honestly, unhappiness. Congress Hall, built as the county courthouse. A lot of people are enjoying the great past of Philadelphia and some of the wonderful things that were established here to create the Declaration of Independence. And some of the things about that is our Constitution was built on some really good points. And I'd like to ask Roberto back at the studios in New York. Roberto, how do you feel about some of the change taking away the First Amendment and the Second Amendment? Well, it's happening. There's been a great push for it. Well, what happened to freedom of speech? Why are people being blocked off of certain social platforms for saying something someone else doesn't like? Do you feel it's the same, the First Amendment, like it was? Okay.
One opinion, because if they can change that right, they will change everything.
Well, it's funny, but I feel if I represented myself as a host of Conservative Time, I would be alienated and people would push back. If I say I'm streaming from Yedro TV, I'm more likely to have people speak to me. One of the things I was always taught, and I believe it's a true thing, politics and religion should never be spoken about because they create fights, animosity, differences of opinion. And I don't know why people get so heated about it, but I do myself. So how could I ask a question like that when I'm part of the problem?
That's the problem. People don't. They're afraid to say they are Republican. They are conservative.
Well, it's more about values. And without labeling it, some of the things that are, is it old-fashioned? Is that the issue?
No, it's the left that has created a bad image to be a libertarian, conservative, or Republican. It's a bad. They made the association with ultra right.
Well, it's too jolting to change. It's got to be brought along slower. And one of the issues I keep repeating myself with, and I use that word repeat, is because it doesn't seem to sink in. It's too radical of a change. If someone's used to acknowledging church and, you know...
People don't want to acknowledge the fundamental of the conservative law.
Okay. What about mom and dad? You can't say it anymore? Is that something that I heard that's true?
Oh, they're trying to change it.
When you say trying to change it, what is the purpose behind it?
It's a bunch of Marxists.
Yeah, okay, all right. Without labeling it, just what is the theory, the motive, and the solution and objective of changing that? What are they looking to accomplish?
I don't know why they want to change that.
It's because someone's offended?
Because maybe it was a transgender that became a woman.
Okay.
And then they want to they don't want to make to feel bad, and they try to
The numbers don't match. Okay, you're talking about a pocket that we have to change everything for? No, that doesn't work. Come on. That's people walking on eggshells. And that's making me feel foolish. Because in other words, you don't have to be cruel and mean. But come on, you can't. How do you want to name somebody with 6 titles? I mean, it's just, I don't know. It just seems secondary nature for me to say, ma'am, sir. We're using words like darling, thanks for your help, sweetheart. They're old-fashioned terms that you mean in goodwill.
But you have to understand, Joe, we have a generation that was indoctrinated 20 years ago when they were in the school. They indoctrinated.
We were not paying attention.
Exactly. And then that's the thing that result that we have now. We have one or two lost generations now. The mothers, and now the new mothers, they're fighting for their children. They don't want their children to be indoctrinated in the school. The school, they're not doing the purpose of the school is to educate, not to teach. Education left for the mothers, are a mistake.
No, you didn't make any mistake. You're speaking normally. This show's about layman's terms. A lot of programming I watch is so technical with facts and background checks and all. Why can't people just speak normally? People that talk make mistakes, people stumble on their words, people get emotional, and people sometimes say in the heat of the moment they can't remember to say a perfect title. If you have to make everyone that you announce or introduce a 4 to 5 word title, how could you not make a mistake?
True.
Again,
We have a lost generation, and we have to try to get it back. I think that when people start listening really what is our philosophy of life, that's where America was born.
of course,
Libertarian.
exactly. And I feel
Small government, no control of the government to use your property, the right to bear arms. They want to remove that.
and they want to take away these common, I don't know. Again, if you calmly ask the question back to a person who opposes some of these things that come to me as common sense, they can't answer you unless they throw in something to create controversy and a fight.
Yeah, the one thing is everything is a fight. It's not a fight.
Am I right?
And the young people, they're intelligent. They don't want to hear so you don't vote. Because they're voting. I mean, it's not an idea. An idea is to have a different opinion and you can create something new. That's what the idea of the universities,
Correct.
to exchange ideas. I respect you, you respect my point of view. Everybody has different point of view.
Well, 10 years ago, being in New York City, no issues. You had different, look on my wrist, I have different pockets of different nationalities, religions, but now all of a sudden, nobody can live together. It's too much to digest. It's the first police officer I saw in a while, by the way, which was another issue that we were talking about. And, well, it was a good thing if you wanted to find an old schoolmate or something like that, or you wanted to post a celebration of some sort, but it changed. Now it's used to attack people, track down people, look up their past, and it's cruel. And then the ability to take someone off it because they have an opinion, what does that tell you? That the person who's taking them off has another opinion and their way is the way it should be, or it's the highway. And that's not the way it should be.
Corporation, they can fire you from your job, the social media can destroy you. That's the one, it's division. The one to create is panic. You people live in fear.
Right.
They're afraid to talk. They're not open to talk.
Well, just stopping someone and saying hello sometimes can create a great dialogue. But again, when the media keeps throwing in racist, how do you expect someone to feel? It drums up the past, it drums up hatred, and it creates controversy. And quite honestly,
it's frustrating.
I don't even like the word quite honestly, because I'm always honestly. Be blunt.
It's frustrating.
To be blunt with you, it's to create a diversion. If you're making people concentrate on that, what's really going on behind the scenes can get done without anybody paying attention.
One narrative they want, only one narrative.
And we keep saying words like they. Who is they?
But the left, the ultra left want one narrative now. Even the
Roberto, you grew up in New York City. For your whole life you spent there. You had friends that were
absolutely yes.
left. Why now all of a sudden it's an issue?
Not for me.
Well, it obviously is, because things aren't the same.
No. But I'm trying to preserve some of those ideas. To tell the people there is another point of view. Create this free country.
You know, I wasn't even interested in politics. You would think, being a host on a show like Conservative Time, that I was pro-politic, right? Do you know how many times I voted in 55 years of my life?
No.
One time with you
But only one time.
for Trump.
Oh, sorry.
Now, does that make me an ultra-right zealot?
For CNN, MSNBC, yes.
I just felt I couldn't see another Clinton in the party. She had her shot, and it was refreshing to have someone new. But I didn't run back and vote again this year. But I have to choose a side now. They force you to choose a side.
There's just one side, one narrative.
Why is there not more of... You're talking about sides. And I'm getting into a deep opening now of a narration. I'm going to ask the audience, and I'm going to ask you. Why does the one side, and we'll call it, for a better word, I don't want to call it left, I want to call it the Democratic Party. Why were they so incensed and motivated and geared up to go after Trump when they felt something was wrong, but yet when something happens to us, meaning the Republican or the right side, we don't go after them with the same envy and the same anger and the same zealots? Why is that?
Because the people they're against, they're one narrative. They are not.
You're not answering my question. When Trump had issues, they went after him on a witch hunt and spent millions of dollars in court twice for things that didn't even prove to be true. Now we find out that Biden and his son did things wrong. Why are we not going after him the same way?
Because they want to protect
Who?
the left.
Why don't the Republicans fight back and do the same thing?
Well, we want to impeach Biden.
They do? Where? Why are they not doing the same thing? Because they're not as motivated to do it for a reason. And I'd like to get behind that. Because I'm starting to be angry at my own party. Because I don't see them bringing this to the forefront. If Trump didn't go to the border, they would have hung him by now. They let this go for 92 days?
Yeah, some of them days.
Is it the media? Is the media is not being fair? They're not pushing it?
The media, we know, Joe. Plus, we have in the Democrat Party, we have the ultra liberals, the Marxists. They hacked the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is also not too aggressive or moderate, center.
Okay.
Center Democrat. Now it's only one party. You don't see those people. They have Ocasio-Cortez, all those Indiana Mar.
Oh, just because they yell, that makes them right?
No, but they are pushing for those stuff. Look at Ocasio-Cortez. She fought against Amazon to give work 35,000 people. And she won. And then it's a disaster in New York. $1 billion left New York because of the stupid girl that she have no idea what she's talking about. She's the most incompetent. She didn't pass anything. But she has sometimes do some damage. And then we have a Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is the president of the United States. You think Biden is the president?
No, he's a puppet. He's a puppet.
For me, it's Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders.
Don't you think it's a shame what they did in Atlanta? They cost that city all that money to move the the games.
That's what happened. They want their way, to be their way done. And they fight against everything. They're against Israel. Israel was defending themselves, and they're against them. Hamas was attacking Israel. And why? And then Israel is the butcher, is the bad guy.
Okay.
Because he was defending himself.
All right.
You know what they keep asking?
Foreign politics, little too much, little too deep. But let me ask you something that seems to be common sense to me. People broke into the Capitol. They treated it like it was the greatest crime and greatest siege since the Germans invaded Poland. But the guys and girls and groups that looted, created fires, and broke into businesses did not get touched. How could that be fair? Is that an even playing ground?
I remember CNN. You see this guy on CNN. Behind him is a big fire of a building. Oh, a Pacific demonstration. Are you out of your mind? Pacific demonstration, burning everything? Because they have to go with the narrative, with the liberals. They want to be the liberals. You know, you're racist, you're everything. Who owns them? MSNBC, CNN, China.
Seems like a big concession to me.
Yes.
I don't know. There's got to be more people, more groups, and more individuals. And I'm not the most intelligent guy. I'm not the most well-spoken guy. And I'm certainly not the smartest guy.
But you're the stupid guy.
But I decided to get on this television and this video. You want us to leave? Philadelphia? You want to be on? We're talking about helping law enforcement. Excuse me. What? We asked the park ranger around the corner if he thought it was okay. He said if you don't bother anybody. But we'd be happy to leave if you want us to. I believe it's a gentleman dressed just like yourself. He was at the other side against the gate. I walked over to him before we started filming. I said, is there an issue with this? And he said, I don't see it as long as you don't disturb anybody. Then he asked the park rangers. They said, go ahead. But if you haven't, if you need us to leave, just let me know, sir. Okay? He's okay.
Yes, but I mean, it's another one. It's our freedom to be here.
You want this as a backdrop? Or is it too sunny?
It's only for you, it will. Anyway, I want to. I think it's not good for you. It's too sunny. Take it. Take it in the shape, perfect.
Better?
Better. You can put a little more here.